All right, moving on. According to reports, this one hurt my heart. Black Lives Matter founders used donations from the movement to secretly purchase a $6 million mansion in California. A board member of the Black Lives Matter released a statement claiming the home was purchased to serve as housing and studio space for recipients of the Black Joy Creators Fellowship. And the organization released the following statement on Instagram. We are bringing Black boy joy back, art, Black voices straight to the top of your newsfeed to announce our new fellowship in Creator House. We are celebrating and uplifting Black creators, dancers, filmmakers, culinary artists, musicians, storytellers, narrative artists, and digital influencers. Now, this is all allegedly, okay? Social media users speculated that this is nothing more than a cover-up. And just a note, Patrisse Cullors, one of the co-founders of the organization, resigned almost a year ago now. This is alleged. But what do y'all think about this story? And do you think it's true, or is it a hit job against Black Lives Matter? Al?
Well, I got to tell you, when I first read the story, I was like, gee whiz, this is disgusting. I can't believe they would do something like that. But then I had to sit back and I had to regroup and I had to think about this. So from a legal and from a logistical standpoint, this is 100% legal. A public entity, a not-for-profit organization legally has the ability to purchase and take title to real estate. Many of them do it to this day. There are specific procedures that they follow and specific oh Lord, that's not going to come out. There are rules, right, that they have to follow, procedures that they have to follow, and filings that they have to do. And from what we understand so far, this organization has done it. The sad part here is that they did all of this on the shoulders of a movement that we thought that they were doing for a different reason as far as starting this charity and this foundation. A lot of people that gave thought it was going to help the victims of the families. A lot of people thought that it was going to go towards better legislation. A lot of people thought that it was going to go to help the violence in the police department. And that's not what this foundation is set up to do. This foundation, this chair, specifically created to help people in the creative space, in arts, entertainment.
I'm going to say this, some of your favorite, most people in nonprofits make a lot of money. This is not unique to nonprofits. I know millionaires, multimillionaires that do a little something. They do feed the kids. They do this, that, and the third. But a lot of money is in that space. So I think this is what they do. A lot of them. What do you think about this?
So I have a lot of questions here. So number one, my first job out of college was I worked at a nonprofit, right? So I'm very familiar with this space. So to your point, you know what I'm saying? When you write a grant and when you write multiple grants or whatever the case may be, you do have the ability to write in what your salary would be as the person with the grant, right? But you also got to understand, Patrisse and others, that optically, this just doesn't look good. And I have a lot of logistical questions, right? All right, $6 million home. For $6 million, we know for a fact that that home is located behind a gate somewhere. Who has access to home? If it's for the people and for the creatives, you know what I'm saying? It seems as if it's behind a gate, y'all have got to cherry pick who can get in, when they can get in, how they can get in. And quite frankly, if it's a $6 million home in a $6 million neighborhood, them neighbors ain't about to be having 30, 40, 50 cars sitting outside their house going in and out their neighborhood. That's number one. Number two, I think that if the intentions for this project were truly to be a safe haven to provide housing and provide creative space and all of those things, as they said, it would seem to me that buying an apartment building for $6 million would have been the better of the option. And optically, it would have looked better because we can't go around saying the owner of Black Lives Matter took the money and bought an apartment building. Obviously, she can't live in an entire apartment building. You know what I'm saying? When you buy an apartment building, that's a compound. That's something I can get behind. Oh, we've got a studio space in this room, YouTube space in that room, recording studio in that room, conferences in this room. Who is currently occupying the house right now? Are people sleeping in the house? A $6 million house probably only has about 6 or 7 bedrooms. How many families are you housing in said house? How are you housing families and throwing seminars at the same time and people live there? You know what I'm saying? So something in milk just ain't clean. I don't want to say the girl is frauding, but this looks like fraud and deception. Looks like.
Mm-hmm. You're right. The optics are terrible. The optics are terrible. And we can sit there and say, oh, because people in the chat are saying Susan Komen does this and this foundation allegedly. There's a lot of people shouting out other foundations that they've, benefiting off of it. But again, when it's us, we're going to have that extra spotlight on us. And we have to be mindful of that the optics can kind of ruin the narrative, that can ruin the actual movement. I hope it's not. What do you think, Al?
Well, I'm sorry, Claudia, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think that the lesson is that from now on, even though it's something that we're really into, like this Black Lives Matter movement, we need to make sure that we read the disclosure statement. We need to read what we're donating to and where that money is going to. And that's something, Q, from working with your not-for-profit, that they have to have registered with the state. And they have to tell everyone, what does this charity do? What does this not-for-profit do? And where is the money because they solicited private donations. They solicited money from organizations and individuals. So they have to be very forthright and transparent about where it goes. I think most people thought Black Lives Matter movement, they thought it was going to the movement and that of social justice, and they just weren't familiar with what it was really doing.
That's right. All right. Well, we will definitely keep the Soulmates posted on any updates to this story.